Imagine it's your first day and you are walking into the law firm and all you keep hearing is the words like boilerplate, pencils down, holding the pen, red lines. What the heck does all of this mean? Well, in this video, you will find out what all of these words mean. One of the most used words that you would probably hear close to every day if you work in big law, especially in transactional work, that would be redline. Essentially a comparison between one earlier version and the current version of the document. In order to show the other party that those changes were made, you will run the two versions of the document in a software, and that software will produce a PDF usually that shows the additions and the deletions of the documents, essentially track changes, but just in PDF form. In blue you would have something that was added, and in red it would be what was removed. Like this, the parties can swipe through the document and quickly see what was changed. Also, this is something that you would be sending internally. Let's say if someone more senior asked you to do something, then you would compare, let's say, the original document they sent and then the changes that you made, you would substantiate them in a red line. Unless you're specifically asked to work and track changes in a Word document, then you should usually do it in a red line. But there are unspoken rules between counsels, and it depends if you are commenting on the document that you own, so the document that comes from you, that you hold the pen, and we'll come back to that. There is a difference whether you would use track changes or you would produce a red line. Usually if you're commenting on someone else's document, then you would use track changes instead of producing a red line. And if it's your document, you would make it clean with all the parties' comments and then send a red line against the version you received. Now, it is perfect segue to move into the holding the pen. And that one really confused me, but it's actually super simple. Holding the pen simply means the party who is responsible for that document will produce the first draft, will take comments, and then choose what to do with them. Moving on to the one that is also very much related to that and not really at the same time. Well, you have pencils down. That is an expression used when you should not work on the matter anymore. Essentially, you shouldn't be drafting, commenting or anything. Let's say you were working on a matter and then the transaction gets postponed for whatever reason, and then you would say, okay, everyone pencils down. So essentially it means stop working on the deal until further notice. Another one that is very common in legal practice, irrespective of whether you are at a law firm or in-house, especially if you work with contracts, that is the word boilerplate. When I first heard it, it was not intuitive for me. So essentially, boilerplate provisions are the ones that do not necessarily deal with the substance of the contract, but rather is something that you would generally find in every contract of such kind. Another word that you might hear is boutique law firm. That is also not super intuitive, but the meaning is very simple. Boutique law firm means usually a smaller law firm that is highly specialized in one area, and it may be extremely valued or well known for that particular area of law or area of practice. Small law firms that specialize, I don't know, on Asian or a specific Asian jurisdiction restructuring of their European subsidiaries, and that's their bread and butter. Or it could be intellectual property rights or family law. That is in contrast to a multinational that would have a breadth of offerings and jurisdictions that they cover and personnel. So boutique law firms, highly specialized, valued for their expertise in that particular area, but they might not be able to assist the client with a range of issues. Now we move to a term that is a bit more recognizable especially if you are a law student. I think that is not very niche, but maybe niche to the European space or particularly the United Kingdom, and that is the magic circle term. Magic circle is an informal term that describes the 5 most prestigious London headquartered law firms. And they generally tend to be also the most profitable firms. I mean, come on, also the wording magic. I mean, it cannot be bad if it's magic, right? Apparently, it was introduced in the 90s by journalists. That's how they grouped those 5 law firms and referred to them. So then this term stuck around and people use it now to refer to those 5 firms. Now, this is more US centric, but you have the word summers. Well, it specifically refers to usually second-year law school students that come in the summer for 2 months to 2.5 months, and they get the experience of working in a law firm, probably comparable to an internship, but it's kind of a program that the law firms run, and that's how they attract a lot of talent, and then first-year associates if you do perform very well and manage to leave an impression. The summers would usually have exposure to law firm work, and then they also have events that they attend and that the law firms organize. Another more US-centric term is 1Ls or 2Ls. That is in reference to first-year law school students and second-year law school students. So if a law firm, let's say, wants to have some people over the summer or just give them an internship, they would refer to them as 1Ls if they're in their first year of law school, and 2Ls if they're in their second year of law school. The next one, which is maybe a bit more obvious, it's the in-house counsel. That is the legal team that is housed within an organization, usually a corporation, that assists with the internal matters of the company. It would, for example, negotiate commercial contracts. It would also work with the business teams, marketing teams, employment teams, basically whatever range of services may be necessary for that business, they will be able to assist with that. It is essentially the legal department in an organization. In-house counsel, they are only servicing the business and the corporation. And with that in mind, then external counsel is the term that in-house counsel would use to refer to law firm lawyers or private practice lawyers. So there will be a lot of times that private practice lawyers as well as in-house lawyers will interact with each other when they have to collaborate on a matter, and especially when the in-house counsel wants the services of the lawyers from the law firm for a specific matter. So I hope this was helpful for you to know what they mean, so you can come in prepared. And then at the same time, if you're curious for more finance-specific terminology, then let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to do a follow-up video on this. Thank you very much.